The art of significant partner leadership begins with an up-leveling of our mindset to understand and fully buy into four fundamental, never-changing leadership truths. Number one, the purpose of a leader is to grow more leaders who believe what you believe, not generate more followers. You see, belief is what creates the leader, and the belief of the leader is what creates expectations, and expectations create behavior. And it's the collection of belief, expectations, and the required behaviors where we actually have the ability to create that culture of significant partner leaders where self-mastery is permanent, winning is personal, and leadership with and without a title is automatic. To help us understand the significance of belief, let me invite you into a family gathering. It was a Sunday dinner. We're gathered around the dinner table. We're in the formal dining room and we're playing this game, Remember When, swapping stories with our children and some of our children's friends. They remembered at the lake. They remembered this. I remembered coming home with a report card that had 4 F's on it and 1 D. My dad's response, son, looks to me like you're spending too much time on one subject. Yeah, we all have different memories. And as we were going around the table, swapping stories and laughs and great memories, one of my daughter's friends broke down sobbing. I said, "Are you okay?" She goes, "No, I'm 31 years of age. I just got divorced. I just was fired from my job and my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer." And through her tears, she said, "I've hit rock bottom." Praying for that flash of inspiration. Luckily, I said, with all due respect, we consoled her. My daughter put her arm around her. But I said, with all due respect, no one ever hits rock bottom. We hit rock foundation. We hit rock belief. We hit the rock bottom core values on which we were raised. And when our organizations hit a bump in the road, when the economy goes south, we never hit rock bottom. We hit the core values and baseline governing principles on which it was built. You see the significance of belief? So in the art of significant partner leadership, the fundamental first question we have to deal with and address is, are your beliefs strong enough, deep enough, and true enough to empower you and equip you to respond to rapid change? The second fundamental leadership truth that we need to embrace to become significant partner leaders is the reality that most leaders fail because they spend their entire time thinking that their job description is to determine strategic direction and figure out where they're going and where they need to be. When in reality, the first and most important question we need to answer is, where are you right now? Physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, socially, financially, and within your family. It's like ordering an Uber ride that requires that we enter in our current location. And if we lie about where we are, the directions won't work. The third fundamental truth that we really need to understand is the equation and formula required to create this culture of significant partners. The cool thing is that once we understand this formula, it's the actual formula to create every culture in every situation. In a Fortune 500 company, a small business, in a sports team, in our children's schools, and yes, in our families. Here's the formula. A culture is always created between the strongest belief, the highest expectation, and the best behavior that the leader lives by, and the weakest belief, the lowest expectation, and the worst behavior that the leader tolerates. The best example I can quickly give of this is in our families. Obviously, every parent raises their children differently. And there's no way in a million years we could ever organize a parenting class, a parenting meeting at one of our homes and decide to raise our children exactly the same. So what do? Well, let's just talk. As parents, what happens if we try to choose our children's friends? It forces them to have 2 sets of friends, those they really hang out with and those they feel comfortable enough dragging home to parade in front of us for our approval. So what we have to do is teach them that to be a champion, it's what they do when we're not around that matters. So we need to teach them about the standards of performance that we have established in our home as a home and family culture. So no matter how that child has been raised in their home, once they walk through our door, our higher standards of performance expect them to raise their performance based on this belief. A classic example, we don't allow vulgarity in our home. We definitely don't allow gossiping. So on an occasion, our daughter had all of her friends around a table and we need that teaching moment to come alive. Hey, let's teach them about trust. If you gossip about someone who's not here today and you all disband your meeting, every one of you is going to leave wondering what they're going to say about you when you're not around. You see the power of a cultural explanation? What we have to understand is that we're in charge of establishing and creating the culture we choose in our personal and professional lives. And the fourth fundamental truth that is required for us to become that significant partner leader is to understand that under pressure, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your training, which means pressure is not something that's naturally there. It's created when you question your own ability. And when you know what you've been trained to do, there's never any pressure. That's why we train and practice so hard. So again, the question, are your beliefs strong enough, deep enough, and true enough to allow you, to empower you to respond during rapid change? And I guarantee that if you put enough emphasis on training, preparation, and practice, no matter what happens in our remote economy with required remote leadership, no matter what changes around us, our response to that change will never change.